Here we go again. Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Blue Corner. I'm still trying to just absorb everything that we've gotten has happened, because my lord, if you had told me Tuesday night that when they were streaming that we were going to be getting a Vanguard reboot, I would be like, no, you're kidding. They're just going to make a new series and give us a movie and shit, and I'll finally get that third Vanquisher in my Eradicator heal. Nope, that is not what's happening. Instead, Cardfight Vanguard is deciding to reboot everything. New anime based on the manga, with many of the characters that we know and love returning, but for some reason Leon's in much earlier than I think he's supposed to be. And then the trading card game is getting relaunched. And that's what we're going to be talking about mostly here. The anime, I'm going to watch it because I liked the original series. And I'm looking forward to them going back to basically the thing that made Vanguard such a cool card anime in the first place, which was the whole local tournaments, regional tournaments, national tournaments. Honestly, the moment Vanguard started doing the whole Psyqualia, magical things, and the stuff that like pretty much G is doing all the time, that's when it just stopped being as good as it could have been. I really liked how it was so much different from that of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zale in Arc 5. And I'm looking forward to that part at least. And hey, we get to see some of our favorite characters return. Although, rip me, Naoki is not present just yet. He'll probably be in Season 2. Anyway, so the anime will re-air on May 5th, 2018 on YouTube and Crunchyroll. I think it'll be the same time as usual, so the Cardfight Vanguard channel at around 7:30 my time. Anyway, so that's it for the anime. On to the card game itself. So, the game is being rebooted. We'll be starting on VBT01. And they're going to be focusing on 24 clans. They say 26 currently, and I think the two clans that they're not going to be focusing on will be Token Rombo and Etranger. Or no. It's Etranger and Mass Collection. Those are the two clans we're probably not going to be focusing on, but that's fine. And then every clan is going to be broken down into one of three attributes: Excel, Force, and Protect. And this will determine the deck's play style by the looks of it. So Excel is an offensive style, Force is balanced, and Protect is defensive. And then these, what we're also getting is the new mechanic called Imaginary Gifts. Units with the gift icon will grant you special skills when you ride them. Excel, for instance, gives you an extra front row rearguard circle that you can't boost, but it gets plus 10,000 power on your turn. Neat. Force will allow you to choose a Vanguard or Rearguard circle to place a marker on. The unit in that circle gets power plus 10,000 during your turn, and you can stack this if you re-ride again. Protect allows you to add your marker to your hand as a perfect guard, and you have to discard a card for this. However, because it's not a grade, it's just a card, this gets around grade restricting cards. Like, your opponent cannot call grade 1 cards to guard circle. This guy doesn't give a shit. It's not a grade 1. You just have to keep this in your hand so your opponent will know you have it. Markers also have to be put in separate sleeves from the main deck, and right now they're going to be placed in where the G zone would be in standard format at least. Now, the other big change, another big change, and this is quite a significant one, will be that triggers are going to be changing in how much power they give and their other stats. So, first things first, plus 5k is now plus 10k. Both offensive and defensive triggers will buff your Vanguard by 10k. Oh boy, but no, wait, there's more. I've seen a couple pictures of the new triggers, and heal triggers are going to give you 20,000 shield, criticals give you 15, the new trigger will give you 10, and the draw triggers give you 5, making draw triggers considerably less value than before. Also, we're not getting stands anymore. Instead, they're getting us a new trigger called the front trigger, which upon you flipping them, buffs your front row by 10k. Hey, Conquest Dragon as a trigger. And yeah, on defense, it means it buffs your front row by 10k. Should note that you do not choose the units, so if your cards have any like this card cannot be chosen by your effects type thing, then front triggers get around that. So just another middle finger to Grade 4 Dark Phase, but why the hell are you still playing Grade 4 Dark Phase? So along with the relaunch, we're going to be getting the first new trial decks, and they'll be Kagero and Royal Paladin, Overlord Blaster Blade, and there will be 50 cards with 3 gift markers, 14 different cards in each trial deck, and to my knowledge, among those cards, you will be getting 4 copies of your ace cards, so Blaster Blade, Dragonic Overlord, and you also get 4 perfect guards in this trial deck. So they're already giving us a perfect guard, which is pretty nice. Although Rip, Oracle, Think Tank, and Nova Grappler, you have to get your perfect guards in set. Let's see, we're getting 3 artworks of your ace card, plus 1 artwork drawn by the manga artist. I should know that Dragonic Overlord's artwork for the 3 ofs are drawn by Daisuke Izuku, who is, in my opinion, the best Vanguard artist out there. He's the guy who did Dragonic Descendant, Raging Form Dragon, and other cards of that style. Any case, sorry about that. So then here we have an example of one of the new cards. This is Alfred Early, and as you can see, beneath the grade 3 and Twin Drive icon, you have his gift marker. So this is saying that he is Force. So when you ride him, you will choose one of your circles, and it gets power plus 10,000 during your turn. And Alfred Early also says that when placed, cost counterblast 1. So they're changing how the icons look, and truth be told, I think it's for the worse. I honestly like the old counterblast, Soul Blast, blah 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 blah, but whatever. So when you ride him, call Blaster Blade from hand to soul, it gets 10k, and if you do, you draw a card. Should note that this guy is 13,000. This is the new standard for grade 3s. Like, they have bumped up the stats of everything in this game, both as Vanguard power, shield value. Like, basically, think of all of our current numbers and then scale them up a little bit, and that's where we're going to be at. So, like, 10Ks in the new Vanguard is pretty much going to be the equivalent of 9Ks. 8Ks are what 7Ks used to be. I mean, perfect guards are 7K now. That sounds neat, but then you remember, you got to be hitting for, basically, you got to be making 18 lines now, as opposed to 16. Alright, so we got that, and then let's see, just for some more stuff. So, randomly insert into child deck, hot stamp, potential Blaster Blade or Overlord. Then we got our first set, Team Q4 Unites, so Royal Paladin, Kagero, Oracle Think Tank, Nova Grappler, 84 cards, and it has the rarity breakdown. So we have a new rarity called Vanguard Bear, which is, I think, the equivalent of GR. However, they are guaranteed to be 1 per box. So, let's see, 16 packs per box. What is it? We get 16 boxes per case, so I think you get basically you can get a playset of each VR in a case. So that should make case splits a bit interesting. Let's see, 8 triple Rs, 12 double Rs, 17 rares, 43 commons. So they're keeping the same like ratios as from G, and 7 cards per pack, 16 packs per display. So this is basically a nation booster. So that means it'll be what, $45 USD? Not bad. We're getting this set in on June 22nd. We get the trial decks on June 8th. Then they break down the kinds of rarities: Vanguard Rare, Special Vanguard Rare, featuring a main unit will be inserted in each box. Special Vanguard Rare is hot stamped. Then we have Image Ride Rare, which is just a randomly exclusive card. Wow, I cannot read this. An exclusive art illustrated by Akira Ito for Unite Team Q4, such as Blaster Blade drawn as Aichi. So basically how the anime does rides. Secret Rares will be just randomly inserted gift markers. Okay. But they're signed by the animation cast. And then Origin Rare is basically a unit printed in the original artwork. So Blaster Blade would be printed as the original Blaster Blade, which could be a bit confusing. Then let's see, purchase 4 booster packs to receive a special PR pack. So it's going to be the equivalent, I think, of the hot stamped cards from G, where we got Neo Nectar, Nova Grappler, Royal Paladin, Kagero, Gear Chronicle. Those Strive Fighter signs. And then they're just showing us like the upcoming product release. So we got the trial decks in June, Team Q4 in June. Extra Booster 1 will be Spike Brothers Tachikaze Mega Colony. Extra Booster 2 and an Aquaforce trial deck will be in August. Extra Booster 2 contains Aquaforce, Grand Blue, Dimension Police. And September gives us the Shadow Paladin trial deck along with the Set 2 Shadow Paladin, Dark Erectors, Pale Moon, and Murakumo. So that's almost half the clans right there by September. So my suspicion is that between October to November, we will get Gold Paladin, Narukami, probably Great Nature or Neo Nectar, plus, I want to say maybe Nubatama? I'm trying to think what else? Like, we're probably not going to get Gear Chronicle Link Joker until much later. They'll probably want to avoid bringing Lock in too soon. So there's that. So yeah, Narukami players, we're probably looking at having to wait a full year since set 12's released before we finally get new Naru support. On the plus side though, Naoki will be playing it, and he was, and truth be told, still is the greatest Narukami player of the series. And we'll probably be getting, at least I'll probably be getting the thing that I've been wanting more than anything else, and that is Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion retrained. So Vermilion will be coming back. Naoki also played Detonics for a bit, so we'll probably be getting him in there, and then he moved on to Eradicators, but we'll see how subclans go. Right now, there are none. And then next, we're getting multiple formats for play. So there are 3 formats, but really, there's only 2 we care about. Standard and Premium. Premium format is the equivalent to Pokemon's Expanded format, where it's everything that's been released up until the point goes together. So old cards, new cards, you play them together, and that's going to be a gong show. Then we have Standard format, which will be basically the rotation format, so VBT01 onwards, and these will be our 2 tournament formats. Now there's also a third format called G format, which is basically OG Set 1 all the way up to GEB07. However, that format will not be supported post-October, and then after that it's just going to be Premium and Standard. I'll be playing in both, and I think a lot of us will be. Let's see here. They're telling us about how shop tournaments will be doing both formats. I think I might be able to convince my locals to do each 2 tournaments per format every month. We'll see. Like, talk to your tournament organizers, maybe your community, see how you want to do this. Telling us about how the Spring Fests are doing. Let's see. Demo Caravan starting in June. Bermuda Triangle gets an anime, but I don't care about that. Get back to me when we get like a Dragon Empire anime. Let's see, Cardfight Vanguard 0 is a mobile game. It's basically their Duel Links, which is fine. I actually somewhat enjoy Duel Links. And we're getting it in English, probably in 2019. And that's it for that part. So, before I dive into the rule changes, just my quick thoughts on the fact that everything is going to be starting over again. So, I've actually been here since Vanguard first started. I didn't post any videos of getting the Kagero and Royal Paladin and Child X, but I do remember buying them and a little bit of the original sets. But it was really Booster Set 6 and the Narukami trial that I really started like putting more effort into the game. But I've seen this game since its beginning, and I'm looking forward to seeing us go back to it. Many people have never really experienced the charm of old Vanguard, so it'll be a nice little nostalgia trip. Plus, I'm looking forward to a much more simplified game because I understand what part of their intention was doing here. Vanguard's power creep had gotten so bad that we were literally having formats warp each and every new set release. Like, set 12 came out, then set 13 completely invalidated it, then Zoo pretty much invalidated set 13, then Stargate invalidated Zoo, and then set 14 invalidated Stardate, and you just can't do that. And the fact is, if they didn't do this reboot, they'd have to make a Vanguard 5Ds that would somehow have to try and power creep out Stride. And if you're trying to power creep out the pinnacle of power creep in your product, that's going to lead to really bad things. Bubble will break, game becomes awful, buddy fight basically repeats itself over here. So Bushiroad decided either watch the game burn into the ground in the most horrible way, or just wipe the slate clean, do it again, however, with balancing in mind. And we're going to cover that right away. But long story short, any outrage I had for this has long died. I was like, are you kidding? But I was like, yeah, okay. If anything, I'm just more annoyed that set 12 Narukami is basically where the clan ends for now, and that I'll have to wait a full year to get new stuff, and even then it's just going to be a reboot. And I don't know how well Vermilion stuff will really mesh in with what we have so far. I am going to have to go find my warnings and my crown holder dragons though, because I feel like those would actually benefit. Like, using Dragonic Kaiser warning against a full front row of 4 rear guards because you're playing an XL deck and smacking all 4. Ooh, or just conquesting a 4 front row. But anyway, yeah. Otherwise, I'm totally fine with this. So in addition to the fact that the game is getting rebooted, we're also getting rule changes, and pretty much like all of these things. So first things first, Bushiroad has shown what clans currently revealed will be what type. I'm really hoping that they'll take this opportunity to try and differentiate some of the clans with similar properties, such as Royal and Gold, Kagero and Arakami, by placing them in different spots. I see they've already put Royal Paladin and Shadow Paladin as Force, which I feel like was a terrible idea. Shadow Paladin should have been Excel, if anything, but hopefully they'll be different with Golds and they'll make them Protector Excel, and Narukami will hopefully be Excel. We're more offensive based than Kagero is, so I feel like we deserve to be, or rather we should be not forced to try and differentiate ourselves from them. But in any case, so yeah, these are the clans that are Axel, which is the one that you get an extra attacking circle to work with. Nova Galper, Tachikaze, Aquaforce, Pale Moon, Murakumo. Makes sense for all of them. Force will be the one where you get to choose a circle and it gets power plus 10,000 on your turn. This is Royal Paladin, Kagero, Sprite Brothers, Dimension Police, Shadow Paladin, and Protect is the one where when you play these cards, you get to add the marker to your hand as a perfect guard. So Oracle Think Tank, Mega Colony, Grand Blue, Dark Irregulars. Grand Blue is surprising. I figured if anything, they'd be an Excel clan because more circles means more shenanigans, but alright, that's a thing. We'll probably be seeing the return of Baskirk if anything. Alright, then we have the changes to the symbols: Counterblast, Soul Blast, Soul Charge, Countercharge, Soul Charge. Yeah. I'm not fond of them. They don't look as nice as the other ones, but they'll probably be easier to understand. Then we have the fact that all the new cards for that can only be... Oh, wait, hang on a sec. How am I even saying this? All the new cards will have this V symbol in the bottom corner here, and that's basically saying that only these cards can be played in standard formats. And then we have the list of rule changes. However, I'm not going to refer to this. I'm going to stay refer to this notepad that I got from the help of some other people. So, Mulligan. Mulligan has been changed to you choose cards from your hand and put them to the bottom of the deck and draw the same number of cards instead of shuffle and draw. This I like because the amount of times that I've put cards back in and drawn those same cards back after shuffle and cut just annoys the piss out of me. Geosis, you no longer have to remove 2 cards from the G-Zone. You just remove 2 cards from your hand. Great. Guardians, you can now normal call Guardians regardless of your grade. So you can guard with a grade 3, with a grade 2 and a grade 3, or on a grade 1 Vanguard, notably with Dust. This also should reduce the power of things like Still Vampire and those damn Witch cards, because you can now Perfect Guard Boy on a grade 3 Vanguard, on a grade 0 Vanguard. Get fucked. Let's see, Stride. You can now Stride, in addition to normal standard, so both players are at grade 3, you can now Stride if your Vanguard is at grade 3 at the start of your turn, regardless of your opponent's grade, which means that decks like 7 Runner, which like to stay down at 1 against you, or grade 1 Rush in general, are now pretty much fucked, because they're staying down at 1, but you get to Stride regardless. Let's see. Once per turn, its effect has been changed so that instead of being able to activate in... basically, they changed it so that if you pass up on a... beforehand, if you passed up on a once per turn attack, say you swing with Golsachi, you don't use his skill, and you swing with Golsachi again, you can't use it. That's different. Now, it can, once per turn, it changed from being able to only activate and standby to it can now only be resolved once per turn. So that example I listed, if you swing with Golsachi, you don't use it, and if you swing it with it again, now you can. So the example here is Night Rose's Generation Break 2. It has to be resolved on the first retire that happens, because the first retire that happens will activate and standby Night Rose's ability. Hence, if you don't use her then, and then something else dies, you can't use her again. Now, however, you can just do it whenever, which is fantastic. Now, another thing is, how do front triggers work with Ultima? Ultima can't change it to choose all of your units because front triggers do not choose in its wording. How do front triggers work with Brant? Brant does nothing with front triggers. I paid Dragonic Overlord the Act ability twice to gain 2 auto once per turn abilities that allow him to restand. Can I restand Dota twice? Yes. After the first attack, you resolve one of the once per turns and not resolve the second one. Then at the end of the resolution of the first restand ability, the second restand will stay active because it was not resolved. Hence, at the end of the second attack by Dota, you can still resolve the second ability to once a 10 attack with Dota. This also works with Victo Plasma, which is why I said that card becomes stupid in premium format. Is this still cannot be used for the rest of the turn, considered to be a once per turn ability? Yes. It is considered the same as the reminder text used prior to once per turn existing in GBTO2. Imaginary Gift. There is no gift zone, so before it activates, place it in a place that won't disrupt the field, such as the G zone at least in standard. You may use one sleeve on a gift, but it must be a different one than your main deck. You're not required to have a gift card, and you can still use the effects. However, not having them is a bit risky because it'll be difficult to keep track of shit. Proxies might be allowed, which, you know what, I might actually do. I might actually like grab, say, a Megamorph and use it as my power-up. If your Vanguard or Rearguard is retired or changed, your gift does not leave. If the Vanguard that bestowed the gift also has a non-place ability, activate the gift will take priority. So if we ever get to the point where a Vanguard has, when this unit is ridden, counterblast 1, kill a thing, or call a thing from hand to Rearguard, the gift takes place first, which is going to be relevant for any XL decks that have the ability of on Vanguard call from hand to rear, call from deck to rear. Imaginary gifts have no limit, so have the necessary number of cards in advance. I'd say you probably want to have as many gifts as you do units with gifts. So if you have 8 Vanguards with gifts, probably bring 8 markers. Yeah, or at least, yeah. Let's see. Power up by Force, Excel Imaginary Gifts are not counted as increased power due to a card effect. Okay. Imaginary Gifts will not be excluded from Ultimate Striding Gize. Protect Imaginary Gift is a hand card and a Guardian on the guard circle, but it does not have a grade. Hence, it can be retired by Daikaiser, it can be used against guard restrictions such as Balam, and it can be used as discarding 1 card from your hand. However, it still cannot be used for something as such as discard a grade 3 card from your hand, or your opponent cannot call cards from the Guardian Circle to hand. And that's all of it. So, yeah. That's quite a bit to take in. I hope I did an adequate job of explaining things, but long story short, they're rebooting the game to be more simplified, and they've also taken some stuff that they've learned from G era into account, particularly the rebalances, the stride, G assisting. It still sucks that you lose 2 cards from your hand and can only check top 5, because I swear to God, when I whiff a G assist, the card I'm looking for is the 6th or 7th card, but keeping your G zone's actually pretty good. And the mulligan change, I'm definitely going to be looking to trying out. I might actually start seeing if I can get some friends to just proxy test some games under just that alone and see how much of a difference that makes. And the once per turn, oh boy, being able to just basically Yu-Gi-Oh! It, where you can choose not to use the effect, but if you have the option to use the effect later in the turn, you get to. That's going to change how decks like Aquaforce and Nova Grapplers play, because you had to do really weird attack sequences to not miss out on getting maximum benefit, but now that doesn't matter. So you can swing at the Vanguard with Tidal Assault and not use his skill yet, if you have the option to stand it back up with Alexandros and then swing a Tidal Assault and swing with him again. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. So that's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Give me your thoughts in the comments down below, what you think about basically Vanguard going back to the beginning. This will be the 2nd time that I've seen Vanguard start. The first time around was interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing a Vanguard series where they don't mess up the release schedule in order to avoid giving us DOT and MLB. That was a weird time. Like, for those of you who have only gotten the Vanguard during the G format, Bushiroad did some weird things with the set releases in order to avoid having Tier 0 formats, i.e. we did not get Descendant until after Set 11 got released. The fuck? In any case, so that's all for now. Again, sucks that I won't be getting any Naros until November, and I will be complaining about that for a little bit, but at the very least, Vermilion will be back by then, and I get to play with Thunderous Avatar once more, and I'll have at least Nova Grappler and Granblue to keep me occupied until then. Till next time, this is Boostar 9, jacking out.